Hey everybody, it's Nick from Hotspawn here with a bit of an unusual interview. I thought I was done for the day, so I went out onto the floor to watch GAM vs G2, and up on the Jumbotron pops two Magic the Gathering creators who I've followed for quite a while. So for the uninitiated, I have with me...
Hello, my name is Serge Jaeger from Loading Ready Run, and...
Hi, I'm Ben, or Bengineering, Ben Ulmer, from Loading Ready Run as well.
Yeah, and so I saw you two up on the big screen with some particularly cinematic reactions.
Losing our damn minds?
Yeah. Which we will get to the series we just watched.
Yeah.
But let's start, with the crossover. You guys are known for Magic the Gathering content. You work with Loading Ready Run, which is a Magic the Gathering company based off of Vancouver Island, very nearby, for those of you who don't know BC geography. But we talked a little bit about this, but how long have you been into League? How long have you played or not played League? And what's the dynamic going on?
Start us off, Ben.
Well, so this is so interesting, right? I've been playing League since beta. League has been a part of my life for years and years and years and years. And Serge, on the other hand,
yeah, I don't play, but I love watching pro games. Every evening, leading up to MSI, I watched every single LCK game, every single LEC game, every single LTA North game. I love it. I put it on when I work out in the evening. It's like my wind down activity. Love the pro games.
And in the meantime, I don't watch pro play. I watched it very early on in the early days. I mean, I saw somebody with a Meteos jersey and went, yeah, let's go.
I know that word.
Yeah, right. And so, but I don't follow. And so it's really funny because Serge has all the meta and the understanding of the pro play and whatnot, but he also forgets champion names or abilities or whatever. And so I get to do a daily lull, trying to decipher what champions are just talking about.
I'm trying to describe meta picks. I'm like, the girl with the hook arms, the hook shot girl.
Camille, yeah. Camille, yeah.
See, it works.
Yeah. We got a game show format going.
It's literally that, or you'll have what. This was probably my favorite one for this. You thought that Azir's ult was legitimately called the Shurima Shuffle.
I did my best, all right?
Nobody calls it Emperor's Divide, bro.
Nobody does.
Nobody calls it Emperor's Divide.
And the moment you said it, I'm like, I know what you're talking about. You know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I have the advantage because he's played since beta. So he knows itemization, he knows champions, and I know the meta stuff, so.
Yeah.
You get Heart of Gold, and then you get your Avarice Blade.
It was weird that nobody built Deathfire.
It's wild. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I thought Deathfire Grasp was OP. All right, awesome. So I guess let's move on to the next related thing, which is it turns out you guys are partially here because of connection with, and I will turn off the EU hater mode that I have been in while cheering for GAM.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Listen, man, I wanted GAM to win so bad.
Sure.
But you have a connection with Dracos and Vedius.
Not just that, the introduction to this was Medic.
Oh.
So we were very lucky to get to travel to Amsterdam to go to MagicCon last year. And when we were there, Medic came up and introduced himself. And this is wild because in the grand scheme of things, League of Legends is significantly larger than Magic the Gathering. And Medic comes up to us and is like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. We're like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
No, we're flattered to meet you.
He would pop in a couple of our streams and I'm just like, wait, time out. I listen to your voice,
I had a moment with that. I was watching a card market video and I was like, hell yeah, new card market video. And then wait a second. Medic's just on card market.
He's really been entering the Magic space a lot.
Yeah.
And so we met him in Amsterdam, and then for my birthday recently I got to travel to Berlin, and Medic reached out and he's like, you got to come over for Commander Night. I'm like, you're kidding, right? And that's when I got to meet Vedi. That's when I got to meet a lot of the LEC casters, and I'm like, these guys are sweet. And the thing that I loved, and this is very funny because it's all about different perspectives. As a full-time Magic creator for, going on a decade now, I'm a little jaded, I'm a little cynical, and their joy is so pure. And talking to them, they've been doing League for so long, and obviously they love it, but it's work. And so hearing us be stoked about League, hearing them be stoked about Magic, it's so refreshing. It's been really fun.
Yeah, there was a transitive property where we're both just pumped about that they're pumped about the thing, right? And we actually got to get together with Dracos and Vedi, and in just a little dinky hotel room, and we just started jamming games of Commander. And I've never seen anybody just excited to just die on turn 5 in a game.
Yeah,
but Vedi was like, yeah, that was sick. And I'm like, wow, okay.
All right, I'll do it again if you insist.
Yeah.
There's actually a fun full circle moment in that because I was listening to Euphoria when Magic first started to come into like Dracos and Vetti's like hobbies. Do you know where they started to pick it up from?
No.
The G2 house.
Really?
G2 in like, I want to say 2018, 2019 on the Euphoria podcast, different roster at the time, Cap still on and that kind of stuff, got big into Magic and started, dumping some EU pro player salaries into their Magic collections. So it's very fun to hear that, you guys meet them, they get into it through G2, and now I am meeting you guys thanks to you being at a G2 match, which is super fun.
I mean, the link between all these fans, it turns out we're all just a big batch of nerds who are down to pick up just about any hobby that's going wrong. Don't send me down the Warhammer 40K loop, or I'm donezo.
Listen, that's the other game that I play.
Good,
So
I'm a kill team player, and I'm officially not allowed to bring any more stuff home. My partner will throw me.
I'm a full scale tournament 40K player.
Oh wow!
I do some work with Art of War, if you know them. They're like a competitive team.
Yes,
So I'm the Art of War socials guy.
Oh, that's amazing.
And we'll cut this out. I'm transiting out to play on tabletop for a job interview tomorrow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good luck.
all circles up. So you can cut that part out, David, just in case I don't get the job. Be real embarrassing if I called this out in an interview. So I was going to pivot to another thing, but I'm realizing there's something that's slightly more pertinent. Have either of you tried Riftbound? League has a card game that is coming out.
So here's the really, really interesting thing. Was it community manager? Was that what?
The influencer manager. So
a good friend of ours who worked with Wizards of the Coast is no longer who dealt with like all the Magic stuff and outreach that we did with Wizards of the Coast. Now works for Riftbound and is doing that kind of system. So they actually
talent exit is from WotC to other places.
Right.
Shocking. That's not happening anywhere else.
Yeah. So we actually got reached out to go to their big creator summit. So Serge and I didn't actually get to go because, funnily enough, and what has happened with a number of fans that we've interacted with over here is they didn't know that we were into League of Legends. So they sent one of the members, Graham Stark, and they also invited James, but he couldn't make it.
They invited the two non-league players, or league fans, to go to the Riftbound thing, and we're just like, we were right here.
Yeah, and they're like, we didn't know.
Guys.
Meanwhile, we're like looking at our 2 tickets and the time off.
And like
that we
the
have
cards
booked
would
for
help
this.
Serge learn the names. So really, it's a 2 for 1.
I'm done. No,
No, we talked about one thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
No,
I'm
super
I
excited
have
for
not
it.
had the chance to play it.
Yep.
I'm super excited. They got one of my favorite characters, Volibear, in there, and the second they get Yorick, I will one trick it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
I think they did like a spoiler. They had a super good looking set card, and I'm like, oh. Yeah,
that's how they get you.
Another hobby. I mean, and I'm like for many years I played Runeterra and was like very, very into it.
Super
and it's
good
like,
game.
Yeah, and it's like, and I think honestly the thing that I enjoyed the most about it was the fact that was where you got to see a lot of the world development in the League of Legends lore and stuff, right? Like you get to see the expanded universe and stuff, and obviously I don't know if like Arcane is being like a shift towards that sort of a thing, but like,
well, I would describe all of it like Arcane, but lore especially, and there's a creator, Necrit, who does a bunch of lore videos, who has a really good thing on this, that lore is Riot investing in their MMO.
Yeah.
All of this art, all of this world building, all of these things you can then build out into the larger game, and in the meantime, you're able to throw it into a card game where you can use all this stuff. And now they're repurposing a ton of it into Riftbound,
which is
where
great.
They've got this gorgeous art.
That's all I want. And like, I mean, we've got a number of people who work at Lure who do like a lot of the flavor and art work,
creative writing
for Magic, right?
Yes.
And
the pie was divine. The cobbler tasted like shoes. There's some bangers from the LRR.
Yeah. Kathleen, when she heard about Riftbound, she's like, I can't wait to sit down and learn all about the lore.
And I was like, well, it's there, but like it's like, I mean,
it'll take a second.
Yeah, and I mean, I was telling Serge about the old days, when it was like when we were summoners, and you
Fiddlesticks was locked in a room, and that was his lore.
Yeah, and Amumu still. We're not even sure.
I mean, listen, Sona still has a voice line that's like, "Do you hear me, summoner?"
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still wish we got to hear Mordekaiser say, like, you only need to click once, fool, as he's, like, running
Oh,
down.
wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
this is the stuff I missed. Because I'm not a player.
Yeah.
I don't know these little details,
Yeah,
right?
a long time ago, they tried to make it so that like the battles in League were canon, and these were all powerful characters who were summoned by these summoners to like resolve political conflicts
they were
in
messing
a
up the
summoner's
world.
rift match, because everybody was messing up the world with their magic. And then Riot very quickly realized that having all your characters hanging out in one hall is not a great way to like build out the world when you take all the interesting characters and put them in one place. But that's awesome to hear that. So coming to the sort of the connection back in, I had a very interesting conversation with a streamer that we've talked about. You guys aren't necessarily aware of, Nick LS de Cesare, who's done a lot of work popularizing Fearless Draft, and has done just in his own stream is doing a lot of work to move the Magic lexicon, especially around drafting and team compositions and some of the higher level strategic things, into League of Legends. An example would be like if I think back, Gangplank is a green-white champion.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He wants to get larger. He's got a very clear plan for how he's going to do that, but he's not going to like overwhelm you early on. But you give him enough time to just like sit there, keep building that value on the board, get the barrels, get the coins, and then eventually he's going to be an unsolvable threat. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or, for example, like G2's drafting that last game, you know, if I think of Mike Flores as who's the beatdown, that comp has inevitability in that game.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sort of interested to think, I know this might be a new comp to you guys, but where do you think they meet, and what do you think about that sort of the border where these strategy games and their ideas can meet? Because you guys spend even more time in Magic the Gathering than I do, so.
So Magic, especially lately with the universes beyond, like Magic has worked very hard to be like, we are quite possibly the biggest, most comprehensive rule set in the world of strategy games, and we want to position ourselves that anyone can join in, that our rule set is flexible enough and our lexicon is flexible enough that you can use it to describe anything. And I think that's a success for them if a big streamer is being like, wait a second, we don't need to invent these terms, they already exist and there's a lot of people who are using them, so why reinvent the wheel when we can just find something that's already out there and apply it? And the beautiful thing about taking familiar concepts is it's a great onboarding for people who might be familiar with one fandom but not really understand something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, like every game is going to have its like in-depth lexicon that like you have to like you got to learn, and it's like if you tell somebody who's brand new, it's like, oh yeah, Magic is ultimately the. Someone will come in and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna alpha strike and mill you out and start like, you know, start dropping all these like, you know, word bombs that people are not gonna understand.
Did you just call me a jackal pop?
Yeah, right, yeah. You're just like, I can't believe you're flunging at me. And it's like, and it's the same with
Not in
League,
polite
right?
company.
Yeah, like I mean, like League and Magic, when you're looking at it from a top down, if you're not understanding what's kind of going on, if you're not well versed in it, they're indecipherable to I think people. But I think where they sort of meet is the idea that any of the, I guess realistically, like when it comes to drafting, like we were using like the example there, like in pro play, in like high level limited kind of formats where they're also drafting and stuff, there is definitely a level where, you know, if one pro player is sitting across, and these guys have been playing against each other for years, right? Especially, and I mean, it's opening up. But like, if you know someone's there, there are drafting styles that people have, right? And you know that, and you know that, like, you know, just like this, there's going to be a lot of meta picks. There's going to be like these slam dunk bombs and stuff like that. And like, there are a lot of situations in pro play where someone will pick a card that it's hate picking, right? Like they will take a card for their deck that they can't even run, but they just don't want someone else to grab that, right? And that's definitely what you see a lot at here. I don't think we ever got to see. Did we see a?
There wasn't a single Nocturne in any of the games that we saw. It was banned out the whole time.
Yeah, because you don't want.
Well,
that
and
thing.
Fearless actually introduces that to League in that, like, now you can ban an enemy champion by picking it away.
I love it.
And I think that was something that LS brought up. Is like the big reason he goes to Magic is League players draft because they have to play League of Legends. It is a step that, like, for most League of Legends, it's like a barrier that you have to do. You have to get through Champion Select and kind of know what you're doing to get there. Whereas for a lot of Magic, the drafting is the point, right? And so it's had a lot longer time, and it's been able to build out a lexicon with more developed terms and like ideas around the strategy.
So not just that, sometimes, I mean, you kind of hinted to it, the draft is the best part.
Yeah.
Like you sit down, you get to look at all these,
so.
There's this element of randomness to it, there's this element of chance, and then you look at this thing that you've constructed that didn't exist before, and you're like, this is so cool. And you're like, you want to play 3 hours and, you know, the next 3 hours and play a game? You're like, no, I don't actually. You want to just draft again?
the classic judge draft at Pro
Yeah.
Tour.
Yeah.
You
And
can-
We've
you
got to
can
go
look
do
at a deck
dinner.
and just
I don't
identify.
want to actually play the matches. We're gonna go hand it off.
You look at all the decks and you're like, you had the best draft. You win.
And you
Yeah.
hear the shoutcasters doing that. Like they're
Yeah.
like, between these two, who do you think
Who
won
won
this
the
draft?
draft?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And a lot of the
Exactly.
times it does end up happening in the way you think, or sometimes it doesn't. And that's the same in Magic. Sometimes, like, I mean, both games have this level of variance to them, right? That it's just like, man, it really seemed like it. I mean, not without spoiling, I don't know where we're going, but like that G2 should have just whooped.
Oh yeah, no. Don't worry about spoilers. for you guys. They'll be fine. They'll get over it.
Yeah, but like that G2 should have just like swept, and from the looks of it and all the data and whatnot, you're like, yep, this should have happened, and it didn't. And it was incredible to see.
Yeah.
Like, so
Turns out, at the end of the day, you still have to execute on a strategy. You can't just be like, look,
we won the draft.
I did this.
Yeah. The judge draft only works if you're coverage team, not if you're at the Pro Tour. You don't get to walk up to the judge and be like, it's really good though.
Yeah, look. Huh? What do you think?
Five color good stuff?
Yeah.
Varus snuck through, so I don't know. Yeah.
So this was your last day at MSI?
Yes.
Yeah, we were here on Saturday. We got to see the semifinals for the play-in, which was pretty hype, and then of course we got to see the finals today, which was actually kind of unreal, to be honest.
I think that we have witnessed the best play-ins of all time.
That was incredible.
MSI.
Well, they've never had a best of 5 fearless before, and I think that format change was incredible. And another interesting data point: this is our first esports event that we've ever been to.
This is my first one, interestingly, working esports. I've been remote the whole time. The last time I went to an esports event in person, same place, 2017.
Okay, people have been,
TSM versus C9 finals as a fan.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
Before I even worked in esports, so it's we can share that, and like the energy is insane on that floor.
So on the first day we were up in like the stand area, and it was a great spot because like my biggest curiosity was like, how do I watch this? And there's screens everywhere, and it's great, and it was really, really easy to see. They did a great setup. But for today, we got to be on the floor.
Yeah, they got everybody into the floor.
They got everybody
Awesome.
into the floor, and it was incredible because it's just the energy. Like there were people in front of us, people behind us, where we were just chatting. Someone reached over and they're like, "Who do you think it is today on this Laldol?" And like I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Like let's try Shen." And we're just like talking, and the community level was incredible. And it's so interesting because obviously League has that reputation, right? That the community is tough, right? But like when it turns out, and Magic is the exact same way. It has the same sort of vibe to it. But when I go to a MagicCon, and now that I've gone to this and whatnot, when you're with the people that are like really excited about it, it's great. It's incredible. Everyone's just pumped and excited and just really happy to be around people that are excited for this thing that they're so invested in.
Yeah, there's a really good quote from you may be aware of D&D creator Matt Colville, who says that League's problem is not its community, it is its in-game chat.
Yeah.
Because you go to a League event and they're cosplaying, they're telling stories, they're writing fan fiction, they're doing all these amazing things, and then you go into game and you get called a slur.
Yeah.
And there, there's a difference therein, but like I think this proves, like the community is very different from the jungler who just got
the vibes were incredible.
Yeah.
Well, there was a really cool note that you made. So it's like we actually were in Las Vegas for MagicCon last weekend.
Oh, right, that was last weekend.
It was last weekend,
Yup.
right? And it was something that was really, really cool. I mean, in both spaces, I think it has grown tremendously. But I was really, really excited to see the amount of like femme presenting people here, and like it is. It's not just a bunch of sweaty dudes anymore.
You'd think,
welcome to come to this space.
I'm
and
not
so
sure if
happy.
you're tuned into this, but Europe has just announced we will have they are doing a game changer circuit, which is for women, non-binary,
Incredible.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
In my opinion, a little too long coming, but it's there, it's coming, and League is building that out. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah,
rising tide raises all ships as far as I'm concerned. The more people here that care about this game, that care about the people playing it, like
Serge and I are now trying to figure out if we can make it viable to go to China.
What's the next esports event you want to go to, bud? It's like we can't always count on it coming to Canada, so
Worlds in US in NA next year.
Well,
I think
we'll see whose basement
where
we can
are we
sleep
at
in.
now? We've been running for 19 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't mean to keep you guys. I think that's a good note.
That was great.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. Really appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely.
Total pleasure.
Thank you very much for having us. This
Hey,
was great.
no problem.